Are you interested in publishing your first book on Amazon KDP, but don't know quite how to do it? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how I just published my next book on Amazon. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Taylor the Ecom RN. I started self-publishing on Amazon KDP in 2023. I went on to have some pretty decent success my first year, and I created this channel to document my journey and hopefully inspire and encourage others to do the same. All right, now let's get into this video and I'll walk you through step by step exactly how to publish your book on Amazon KDP. All right, here I am in my Author Central account for Amazon KDP, and we are going to go through step by step how to publish your book. So first, you just need to click Create. Then you're going to select what kind of format you're going to be listing. In this case, I'm listing a paperback. And we're going to start working through this. You can see there's 3 different pages that we're going to go through to get this book published. Okay, the language defaults to English. That's fine because my book is in English. Then we're going to put in the book title. This is important, so I'm going to make sure I put it in word for word as it is in my manuscript and on my cover. And this is where some keyword strategy does come into play. Your book title is one of those things that's going to be used in Amazon's algorithm as it tries to determine if your book is a good match for a particular searched keyword. And so if you're trying to capture the most organic traffic possible, you do want to optimize your title and your subtitle to include those keywords. So first, let me type in my title, and then I'll point out why I phrased my title the way I did based on the keyword research. Okay, so there you have it. I put in my title here, Dosage Calculations Workbook Bundle for Nursing Students, and the subtitle with over 350 essential practice problems to master med math and crush your dose calc exam. And just keep in mind, Amazon will give you guidelines. If you have any more questions about the technicalities that can go in your book title, you can click here and get these guidelines. One thing I will point out really quickly is that between the title and your subtitle, they have to be 200 characters or less. All right, mine happens to be 147 characters as it stands, so it should be good to go. One other thing I will mention here before we look at why I chose this title based on the keywords is that I would really have liked to put nursing school in here somewhere as well, that keyword. However, Amazon really goes overboard, I think, on flagging titles for repeating words. Right? So I have nursing students in here, and if I put in nursing school in the subtitle or anywhere else, there's a high likelihood that Amazon flags it. They're really picky about this stuff. It probably wouldn't happen. It probably wouldn't be an issue, but they just are always on the lookout for people keyword stuffing. Okay? They really don't like when people just jumble up a bunch of different keywords into their title because again, the book title and the subtitle are large factors in the algorithm. So people try to do their SEO by just smashing a bunch of different keywords all in the book title and subtitle, and Amazon doesn't like it. So I've run into this issue in the past. They send me an email saying that they rejected my publication. Then I have to reach out to them again and say, hey, look, this is why the title is like it is. It makes perfect sense grammatically. It's not keyword stuffing. And I have to have an actual human being look at the title and go, oh yeah, the algorithm messed up. Your book's fine. Okay, so I just don't want to deal with that this time around. I'm going to sacrifice the keyword nursing school and just stick with nursing students. Okay, so all that said, let's actually look at the keywords that are associated with this book so you can kind of get an idea of my thought process behind coming up with titles as it relates to search engine optimization. All right, so the first thing I like to do is use my Helium-10 magnet feature. Again, if you ever want to get Helium-10, I do have a discount link in the description, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. But I just put in here dosage calculations for nursing school students, and I'm going to filter this to show me searches with 3 words or more. And we'll apply those filters, and you'll see as I rank by the search volume, what people are searching for the most. Here we go, nursing school essentials. That one's getting searched 16,000 times. And that word there, essentials, that's why I wanted to include the word essential in my subtitle, okay? Because again, down here, we have nursing student essentials searched 5,000 times. All right, and then we have here nursing school success bundle. That's searched over 3,000 times. And that's why I like to have the word bundle in my title. I wanted to make sure that that keyword was in there. And then you can see the main keywords for this book, right? Dosage calculations for nursing students is searched about 1,400 times a month. All right, so that's kind of the general outline, some of my thinking behind how I came up with the title. Obviously, it has to actually pertain to the book. You need to be describing what the book is accurately, but the more high volume keywords you can get in there, the better. Another way I like to do this is actually find another book, a competitor book that's selling really well. In this case, we've already looked at this one. So I'm taking their ASIN here, and I'm going to put that into another tool on Helium-10 called Cerebro. So I paste that in there. I did the same thing with the word count, a minimum of 3 words. And when you come down here, you can rank by keyword sales. So the idea behind this is how many sales were made for this particular book after people searched this particular keyword. And again, we see here essentials was a big one, right? So that's another reason why I wanted to put that word in my subtitle. Obviously, nursing student, nursing school, these are big ones, right? This is why I kind of wanted to put school in, nursing school, but I didn't feel like it was worth the hassle repeating the word nursing and getting flagged by the algorithm. But you can see here, nursing student essentials, that gets quite a bit of traffic and makes a few dozen sales a month for this book. Again, we have bundle there. That's why I like the bundle term. But this is just another way that you can find keywords that you might have overlooked that you want to put in your book title. We will be coming back to this because there is another space in your book setup where you can put more keywords. But for now, let's jump back over and go on to the next step. Okay, so this one you probably won't need to do for your first book, but this book is going to be part of a series for me. So I'm going to select existing series because I think these books are already in a series. Yes, so we have dosage calculation for nursing students, right? So we're going to click and say that this is main content. This book is one of the primary titles in the series. So we'll click that and you can see this, it's going to put this as book number 3 in this series. Now that's fine. That makes sense because it's the third one that I'm publishing. I just wanted to do this because this will again show the customer that they're essentially getting 2 books in one, because when they look and they go, wait, what other books are in this series? They're going to see book number 1 and book number 2. And then they're going to realize, this book combines both of those books. Wow, what a great deal, right? At least that's what I'm hoping. So we will confirm and continue here. And that's all in. Okay, so this is going to be book number 3 of Dosage Calculation for Nursing Students series. Edition number is also optional. I've never used that, so I'm not going to put that in. And then we have the author name. Okay, so this one's important. I'm going to go ahead and type in my author name here. All right, and then moving down, contributors is not something that you usually need to put in, so I recommend just skipping it. It's also optional. So the description is important. This is where you try to sell your book a little bit. So I'm just copy and pasting the description from one of the other books in this series, and I'll go ahead and edit this to make it appropriate for this new book. But you can see just the basic layout. I do like to have some bullet points because you don't get that much space on your listing for the book. And if you write a big paragraph, Amazon's just going to kind of cut that paragraph off, and the customer is going to have to click like a little drop down, like more information, to actually see all the stuff. Whereas if you do this format, usually the customer will be able to see, the first few bullet points right off the bat without having to click in to see more information. So I do like to do it this way. And as per usual, when you're trying to sell anything, you do want to focus more on the benefits of the book or the product and less on the features. So I will go through and say some things, some of the features, like here it's 8.5 by 11 pages, right? That's something that people like to know. That's just a feature. But what I'm trying to do more than anything is stuff like this, like gain experience or gain confidence, or, step-by-step instructions and examples. Things that kind of more of like the experience or the emotions that I want the customer to associate with the purchase of this book. All right, so I've touched that up enough that I'm comfortable with that. And then when we come down here to publishing rights, you're going to click I own the copyright and hold the necessary publishing rights. And no, this does not contain any sexually explicit images or title. I'm not going to put in a reading age here. We're just going to leave that open because it's optional. The primary marketplace is going to be Amazon.com. This stands in contrast to say Amazon.eu or something like that if you wanted to sell your books in Europe. My primary marketplace has always been Amazon.com here in the US. Just know when we get to the next steps, you'll see that you can open this up and allow people to purchase your book on other marketplaces as well anyways. All right, categories. This can be a little bit annoying and a little bit confusing, so let's go through this really quick. But to just give you a gist, the categories here refers to what specific niche your book is in. Okay, so if you had like a coloring book, for example, that's a category. You can choose that it's a coloring book. So you're allowed to select a few of these, but let's go in and see if we can do one really quick. Here you can see here all these main categories. Let's go down to test prep and see what happens when we do that. It isn't any of these, so let's go to the subcategory and go to professional. Ooh, maybe study guides and workbooks. Let's try that. And we'll just do workbooks. Okay, so that is 1 out of 3 of our category placements. I'm going to go here to add another category. So you see it saved the first one. We're going to do that again. We're going to go down to test prep. I want to go here to professional this time. and we'll do NCLEX. I don't know if you can select. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So NCLEX is a nursing specific test, and then nursing is obviously the profession that I'm targeting. So I think that's pretty good. We've got our 3 categories here, and we'll just click Save Categories. Okay, so remember I said there are more places to put in keywords here. A lot of people really get hyper fixated on this, in my opinion. These back-end keywords, they're sometimes called. These don't show up anywhere on your listing. It's just for Amazon as an algorithm to try to show your book to the correct audience, right? So you can put in additional keywords here on the back end, and Amazon's algorithm is scanning those and trying to match them to customers' searches. Again, a lot of people go way overboard, I think, on this. Finding that one unique keyword and putting it in here, I really don't think is going to change your book from a failure to a success. But, you might as well put stuff in here. So that's again where that Helium 10 comes in handy. So I already know a lot of these keywords because I've been looking at my Helium 10. I already showed you briefly what that looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in with keywords that I would like to have targeted. You can see you can have up to 50 characters per keyword chain here. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and put in the keywords there that I wanted. And then these next ones are auto selected. I never change these. It just means that the publication date and the release date are the same. That's usually the case. And then the release date, you can schedule this out in the future. I'm just going to leave this as release my book for sale now. Now, remember, this takes up to 72 hours to go live anyways. So you're looking at 3 days, usually before the book actually goes live. So we're going to click save and continue here. And now we're in this second page here of this process, the paperback content. I always select this. There is, people go back and forth on this, whether you should have KDP assign your ISBN or whether you should apply for your own. I've never applied for my own. I don't plan to sell this at any other bookstore or to have it published by any publishing house or anything like that. So I have KDP assign me my own ISBN. Just remember that this one can only be used on KDP and it can't be used with other publishing partners, okay? All right, and there's my ISBN. Sometimes I like to put that in the front matter of my book. All right, now this is important. These are the print options. My book is going to be black and white with white paper. And now we need to go to the trim size. We need to select a different one because this defaults to 6:9. And mine is going to be 8.5:11. Okay, so bleed settings. This has to do with the interior pages. So for instance, if I was uploading a coloring book and I wanted my illustrations to go all the way to the edge of the page, I didn't want a border around the page that was left white. I wanted it to extend seemingly off the page, if you will. Then I would select bleed, okay? So that's the instance where you would select bleed. In my case, I do want a border. I don't have any text or any images or illustrations that are going to extend off the page of the manuscript, off the page of the book. I don't want that kind of full page effect. I'm going to select no bleed. All right, and then you get to choose the cover finish for your paperback. I'm going to choose glossy for this one. I feel like the way that my cover looks, I think it'll look better as a glossy cover. I have done matte before. It's kind of neat if you want to do that, but most of my books I do glossy. All right, and here is where you actually start uploading stuff. It takes a while for Amazon to upload and scan. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and we'll come back when it's all uploaded. Okay, so you can see here my manuscript is being uploaded. Amazon's processing it, but it was uploaded successfully. Now when we come down to book cover, we're going to have a similar thing, except you're probably not going to use this cover creator. This is like a little tool that Amazon gives you where you can basically create your own cover here right on Amazon. It uses a lot of stock images, so I don't like it. I have my own cover, right? So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to upload my cover file. Okay, and you can see that that uploaded successfully, and again, Amazon is processing it. But real quick, this is that barcode that I mentioned in the previous video. So because I only sell on Amazon KDP, I like to let them print their own barcode on the book. This way they can scan it. There's no problems. There's no issues. I don't have to register my own barcode. So if that's what you want to do, which is the simplest way and what I do not click this, okay? If you click this, that means that Amazon will not print a barcode on your book. And so if they go to scan your book to ship it out, there isn't going to be anything there unless you do actually have a barcode and you have actually integrated that barcode into your cover design, okay? So leave it unchecked and Amazon will add the barcode for you. That's what I'm going to do. Is there any AI generated content in your book? No. Okay, we went over in a previous video what Amazon considers to be AI generated content. My book does not have any AI generated content. And then it makes you launch this, okay? This previewer, it makes you launch this so that you can go over what your book is actually going to look like on Amazon's end when they go to print it. Now, this takes quite a bit of time. We're going to launch this and I'll show you really quick. Okay, so here is the previewer, all right? And it's showing me my cover first, and you can see that everything checks out, right? Everything is kind of within these lines. This red line is the cut line and the white line is the bleed line, if I'm correct here. This will not be printed on your actual book. This just helps you to notice any problems with your cover, okay? So you can see that all of my text, everything that I want is within the red line, so it's not going to be at risk of getting cut off in the printing process, and that's good. The only thing that I kind of don't like here is you can see Amazon added their barcode, and unfortunately, it doesn't really line up with this kind of banner that goes across the bottom here. But you know what? I'm not gonna move that down to the bottom. I like the way it looks, especially for the front cover. I like it where it is on the front. And if it's gonna be continuous wrap around the back, then that's just the way it's gonna be. Not too worried about that. But this is a good place to catch things like that before you actually submit it for publication. And you can go through here and click through the pages so you can make sure that things are where they ought to be. And again, you can see the dashed line here. This is the kind of the safe print line. This is where you want to make sure your text stays within. If, again, this was a coloring book, then you wouldn't care if your images went across if you selected bleed, okay? Because you want it to go all the way off the edge of the page, and then it just cuts the page off where it is, and it looks like you have that nice, you have that nice full page effect on your coloring book illustrations. All right, and this is exactly how I wanted this to all look, so everything looks good so far. I don't have any issues with this. One thing you can do here is check the pages to make sure that you actually have the right page numbers. And this is why I like formatting things with an actual formatter, because you can see it's a little tricky. We don't get to the actual first chapter here. It says page 4. And you'll see we actually don't get there until page 4 here. So I like that. I think that worked out really well. That's just, this is not rocket science, but it's just stuff that I don't normally do. So I like to have other people do it for me. This is one reason why. All right, so I've checked enough of these pages. I'm not too worried about this. So I'm gonna click approve. All right, and so it looks like everything's good to go. And now that Amazon has seen the book, it's kind of gone through and seen, how long it is and what the cover's like and what the size is. It's telling me what my printing cost is here, okay? So it's gonna cost $3.35 for Amazon to print this book. This amount of money is gonna be taken out of my sales price, right? When I sell a copy of this book, they're going to subtract $3.35 from the $19.99 sales price. Click save and continue here, and we're going to move on to the next panel, the paperback rights and pricing. All right, I always do this, all territories, and that's going to give you the option to set a price for these other markets, okay, which is what we're going to do next. All right, so I want to sell this book at $19.99, and you can see that's going to be the price for Amazon.com, the US site. There's the printing cost. The rate on Amazon is going to be 60% royalty. So my royalty is going to be $8.65 per copy sold. All right. So the sales price is $19.99, but my actual take home net profit is going to be $8.65. If I click this expanded distribution here, you can see that Amazon is going to add this book and other online retailer catalogs, and they can purchase, and somebody could purchase my book there. But you can see the rate on my royalty goes down to 40%, and I'm only going to make $4.65. So I normally actually don't do expanded distribution. Maybe that's dumb. Maybe I should do it. I just want people to buy it on Amazon, and I want to get this full rate. But that doesn't mean that they can't buy it elsewhere, because they can also buy it on Amazon UK, the French Amazon, the Spanish Amazon, whatever Amazon it might be. Okay. And you'll see that it's actually auto-generated the price here based on the current currency conversion. All right. So right now, $19.99 is worth 15 pounds and 42 pence. Do they use pence in England? Is it 42 cents? I don't know, but I don't like that. I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and put it at $15.99, and you can do that all the way down. I always just like to end it at the 99. And in fact, this one, all these that are 1842, now I'm going to change all those to 19.99, and you'll see, obviously, I'm actually going to be making more money, right? Because when they convert €8.09 into US dollars, I'm going to make more than $8.65. All right, so you can see I've gone through and I've updated every European market to $19.99. Then we get to some interesting ones. I don't even know what this one is. PL, I don't know. But 77.3, I don't know. I don't like it. We're gonna change that. Let's do $79.99. Again, here, I don't know what Amazon SE is. I don't know what currency this is, but 20249 is weird. So we're going to change that. And same thing here. I think this is Japan. So these are yen. Is that what Japan uses? So we're going to change that one as well. 2299 all the way across the board. Then we have Canadian dollars here. And this one is going to go up to 29.99. And then we have Australian dollars as well. And let's do $32.99 for our Australian customers down under. All right, and once you've put in the pricing details here, once you've confirmed all this and you've decided, what the price you want on each marketplace, this is really the primary one. Remember, I'm publishing on Amazon.com. That's the US one, and this is my US price. This is where I'm going to make 98% of all my royalties. So this is the real one to pay attention to. It's good to know what your royalty is relative to your list price, because that's how you're going to calculate your profit margin and how you're going to plan for your ad spend. All right, so those are some of the details you'll get here. When you come down, you'll see it's going to take up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase. You can get a proof. Okay, before you publish your book, you can get a proof here. So what happens when you request a proof? Essentially, Amazon is going to print like a test copy of your book and mail it to you so you can see what it looks like before it goes live. Now, I've never done this because I've heard that they actually kind of, across the cover of your book, they put in big writing proof. So if you want to see what your cover design actually looks like, they kind of mess it up by printing the word proof over the whole cover. So I've just never really cared, to be honest. I've even published the book, and then a few days after it went live, I noticed that there was an error. Well, I just went in, I updated the manuscript, fixed the error, and republished it. All right, I don't think anybody noticed. I probably made a few sales, maybe a couple people noticed the small typo. It didn't cause any harm to the book sales overall. And I just went in and republished it, and all was good. But if you want to play it more safe and you want to see what your book looks like, you can request a proof before it goes live. I'm just going to go ahead and publish my book. Okay, that's it. You'll see that it's submitted. It's all good to go. And what Amazon wants you to do next is publish your book as a Kindle ebook. Now, I'll be honest, I've never done this. Okay, so I don't want to do this right now. Maybe at some point I'll go back and do this, but I don't want to because I don't think this book lends itself to an ebook format. This is a workbook of practice problems, right? So people should be writing in this book. They should be doing the practice problems. If they get it as an ebook, I don't think they're going to get all the value from the book. So I'm not going to do it. So you can just close that. And here you'll see you're back to your Author Central and the book is in review. That's it for this video, guys. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please leave a like. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, or you can book a free call with me. The link is in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.